All right, so we're diving into this
Yeah.
pretty massive guide all about making money.
It's a big one.
It's a beast. A lot of you have shared this with us and wanted us to really go deep. And that's what we do here. You know, no get-rich-quick schemes or anything. Just a solid look at all the possibilities. From side hustles to, you know, full-fledged businesses. What I thought was interesting, and this is right out of the gate.
Yeah.
This guide starts off with talking about self-assessment.
It really emphasizes that. Yeah, that's a really crucial point because it's like taking stock before you embark on any journey.
I like that. It's like you got to know what you're working with before you even start thinking about the recipe.
Absolutely.
So when we talk about self-assessment, what are we really talking about here? What should we be assessing?
So it's really about thinking about, you know, what skills do you possess? Okay. How much time can you commit? How much time do you realistically have? Even your resources.
Right.
You know, do you have a computer?
Yeah.
Do you have a reliable smartphone? Consistent internet access?
Yeah. Makes sense.
These all play a role.
So it's more than just going, well, you know, I'm a good writer, so I should be a freelancer. It's really like taking a look at the whole picture
of your situation.
I like it. So the guide gives examples like writing, coding, graphic design, but it's more than just kind of like listing these things off.
Yeah, it's going deeper than that. It's about saying, okay, well, I'm good at graphic design, but I only have maybe 5 hours a week to dedicate to this side hustle.
Yeah.
So maybe the kind of graphic design I pursue is going to look different, or maybe I should go in a different direction and create, you know, and sell design templates.
Right.
That might be a better fit given my time constraints.
Yeah. So that actually leads right into, and you just touched upon it, this idea of passive income, which we'll get into.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But, you know, you start to see how this self-assessment really sets you up for success. Yeah. Okay. So we've taken inventory.
Yeah.
Right. We've got our skills. We know kind of what we're working with time-wise, resource-wise. Now the guide, and this is where it starts to get really exciting.
Yeah.
It dives into a whole bunch of different ways to make money.
Yeah. It throws a lot at you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it can feel overwhelming, I imagine, for somebody just looking at this.
Definitely. And that's where, you know, we come in with this deep dive.
Yeah.
Because we can pick and choose, you know, what's going to be relevant to your specific situation.
Exactly. So let's pick a few here. Why don't we start with freelancing?
Okay, yeah.
Because that's one that a lot of people think about.
Freelancing's always a popular one, especially for people who, you know, maybe they have strong skills, maybe they have a flexible schedule.
Yeah.
The guide even talks about some of the platforms like Upwork and Fiverr as places where you can go and connect with clients.
It's interesting, though, because it's not just enough to just have a skill.
No, it's not.
You really need to be able to.
You got to be able to prove it.
Yeah. And that's where a portfolio comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to show it off.
Yeah.
You need that curated showcase of your best work.
So it's really telling the story of what you can do.
Yeah.
Not just saying, I've done this, but actually.
Showing, not telling.
Okay, so we've got freelancing. What about selling products?
Okay, yeah.
This is something that's always intrigued me.
Yeah.
E-commerce.
Lots of different ways to go with that. You can set up your own store.
Right.
You can use existing platforms,
Right.
Etsy, Amazon.
Yeah.
The guide highlights one model, drop shipping.
Oh, yeah.
Drop shipping.
Yeah, have you heard about that?
I've heard the term, but I don't really know how it works.
Okay, so basically you're selling products online, but you don't actually handle the inventory.
Oh.
So you're partnering with a supplier.
Got it. They handle the storage. They handle the shipping.
Oh, okay.
You set up your online storefront, you market the products, and then when a customer makes a purchase, the order goes straight to the supplier.
You're like the middleman.
Yeah, you're connecting the customer with the product.
Interesting.
So the thing with drop shipping is it's lower risk because you don't have to put all that money up front for inventory.
I see.
But it's not completely hands-off.
So you still
got to find.
You got to do the work.
Yeah, you got to find the suppliers. You got to make sure they're reliable. You got to manage the customers, and you got to handle any issues that come up.
Yeah.
It's not
a magic bullet.
No. There's no such thing.
Okay, what about content creation?
Okay.
It feels like these days everybody wants to be a YouTuber.
Everyone's an influencer.
An influencer. The guide does talk about this and talks about some interesting things. But one thing that really stood out to me was this idea of a niche.
Yes. Super important.
So you mean like
Like a focus.
Instead of trying to be everything to everybody,
Yeah.
you really kind of hone in on a specific area.
Exactly. And, the reason for that is when you focus on a niche, you're not trying to appeal to everyone.
Right.
You're appealing to a specific audience.
Okay.
And that can be much more effective.
So it's like instead of a general lifestyle blog,
Yeah,
it's a blog specifically for people
exactly.
who are into vintage teapots.
I love that example.
Or, whatever.
Yeah. You become the vintage teapot expert.
And then you build that whole community.
And that opens up opportunities.
Yes.
You could have affiliate marketing. You could actually sell vintage teapots.
Right.
You could create a course on, the history of teapots.
So it's more than just like, oh, I like this,
Yeah.
so I'm going to make content about it. It's like...
You got to find that audience that's
Yeah.
really interested in it.
That's cool.
And that can be monetized, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just blogs and YouTube.
No, it's not. It could be podcasts.
Yeah.
It could be online courses.
Right.
It could even be just,
Social media.
specialized social media
Yeah.
accounts.
Interesting. Okay.
Find the right niche, and you can really build something.
So we've got freelancing, drop shipping,
Okay.
content creation with a niche focus.
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling inspired already, but what's the next step?
Okay.
How do we take all these ideas and actually turn them
Yeah, we got to make it happen.
into action?
So the guide actually has a whole plan for that.
Okay.
And it starts with setting clear goals.
Okay.
It's not enough to just say,
Right.
I want to make money.
Yeah. You got to be more specific
You got to be specific.
than that.
Yeah. You got to be able to measure it.
Okay. So give me an example.
Okay. So let's say, based on your self-assessment,
Yeah.
you realize, okay, I can commit 10 hours a week,
Okay.
and I'm really good at making, presentations.
Yeah.
Beautiful presentations.
Yeah.
So your goal could be, I want to make an extra $500 a month
Okay.
within the next 6 months
Right.
by offering freelance presentation design services.
That's very specific.
It is.
I like it.
And it's something you can track.
So it's not just like, oh, I hope I make more money.
Oh, no wishful thinking.
It's like, this is what I'm going to do
Exactly.
to get to this very specific goal.
Yeah, it's action-oriented.
Yeah, I like it.
And the guide suggests tying it back to your self-assessment.
Right.
So if you know you have limited time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe your goal is, I want to create a product that's going to make me passive income.
Right.
Because I don't have a lot of time to be working actively all the time.
Yeah.
So it all connects.
Okay. Goals are set.
Okay, we're moving on.
It's next.
Next step is creating a schedule.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
The dreaded
time management.
time management.
It's so important, though.
Because it's easy to be like, oh, I'll do it when I have time.
Yeah, and then you never do.
Yeah.
The guide is really emphasizing you need to actually block off time,
Okay.
even if it's just a couple hours a week.
Right.
But treat it like an important appointment.
Oh, I like that.
You wouldn't miss a doctor's appointment.
Right.
Hopefully.
Right.
So treat this the same way.
I can see how that'd be really helpful.
It's structure.
Yeah.
And it creates consistency.
Especially if you're somebody
Light
who's
screen.
juggling a lot.
A full-time job.
A full-time job, kids, all this.
Life.
All right. So we've got goals. We've got a schedule.
Okay.
What about
Now we need to,
building an online presence?
yes, build that online presence.
Because the guide talks about that,
It does. It's essential.
especially these days.
Oh, in today's world, absolutely.
So what does that really entail, though?
So the guide mentions LinkedIn
Okay.
as a great way to showcase
Yeah.
your professional skills, your experience.
It's kind of like your online resume, but better.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's more than just a list of jobs.
Yeah.
It's where you can really let your personality shine through.
And tell your story a little bit.
Tell your story.
And then there's the whole world of social media.
Yeah, depending on what you're doing.
Right.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok could be really powerful tools
Right.
for connecting
Yeah.
with clients, customers, fans, whatever.
I imagine if you're doing content creation.
Especially.
Yeah.
You really got to be.
You gotta be out there.
Yeah.
You gotta build that following.
And that's a lot of work.
It is.
It is.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes effort. And
Yeah.
if you do it right,
Yeah.
it can really pay off.
Okay, so we've got goals, we've got a schedule, we've got our online presence.
Uh-huh.
What's the final piece of the puzzle here?
Tracking your progress.
Okay.
It's not enough to just be making money.
Right.
You gotta know where it's going.
So why is that so important?
Because when you track your progress,
Yeah.
you can see what's working.
Okay.
You can see what's not working.
Got it. And you can adjust as needed.
Makes sense.
So if you're doing a bunch of different marketing strategies
Yeah.
and you're seeing that, one of them is bringing in way more clients,
Right.
Okay, maybe we focus on that.
Double down.
Yeah. Or if you're selling products
Yeah.
and one product is outselling the others.
Okay.
Okay, what's special about that product? Let's figure that out.
I like it.
So it's about using data to improve what you're doing.
I like it. So what does the guide recommend as far as tools?
It keeps it pretty simple.
Okay.
It mentions spreadsheets.
Yeah.
You just track your income, your expenses. You can calculate your profit.
Super easy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Now, if you're more of a visual person,
Mm-hmm.
there are budgeting apps out there.
Oh, yeah. Those are great.
They'll categorize your spending for you.
Yeah, they're really good.
You get fancy charts.
Yeah.
So there's
something out there for everybody.
for everyone. Spreadsheets for the,
The old school folks.
the old school apps for the tech savvy.
I like it.
But the main point is you got to track
You gotta track.
what you're doing
Okay.
so you can make informed decisions.
It's interesting because we've been talking about all this exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is exciting.
And we've kind of, glossed over the fact that it's not always going to be easy.
No, it's not.
There are going to be some challenges.
There are going to be challenges.
The guide does a good job of talking about this.
Yeah, it has a whole section.
It's like, here are some common mistakes to avoid.
Yeah, common mistakes to avoid. Exactly.
And, it talks about things like overcommitting.
Oh, yeah. So especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
You get all excited.
You get excited. You want to do everything.
You don't do all the things.
Right.
And it's like, whoa, 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 slow down.
Yeah.
You've got to be realistic.
It's like that classic saying, you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so start small.
Yeah.
Start small, build up gradually.
Yeah.
Don't burn yourself out.
Yeah. It also talks about this idea of, chasing quick money.
Yes.
Right. These schemes
Get rich quick.
that promise you
Yeah. It's a trap.
the world.
It's always a trap.
And it never.
Yeah. If it
Maybe-
sounds too good to be true,
Yeah.
it probably is.
All right.
So be wary.
Be wary. Do your research.
Yeah, be skeptical.
Question things.
Absolutely.
It also talks about this really important thing, taxes.
Oh, yes.
Especially if you're a freelancer or self-employed.
Yeah, it's easy to overlook.
Why is that so important, though?
Because as a freelancer, as an independent contractor, you are responsible
Yeah.
for paying your own taxes.
So it's not just about the money you're making.
No, it's about the money you keep.
Yeah. You got to think about that.
You got to set aside money throughout the year
Yeah.
so you're not hit with a massive bill.
When tax season rolls around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So the guide even recommends, like, setting up a separate savings account
Okay.
just for taxes
That's a really good idea.
and make regular contributions to it.
Yeah.
So that way, come April,
You're not scrambling.
you're not
Yeah,
stressing,
right.
you're prepared.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We really have.
We've gone from assessing our skills
Yeah, it's
to setting
the
goals
whole roadmap.
to building that online presence,
Right.
avoiding those pitfalls.
To even thinking about, okay, we're making this money now.
Yeah,
What are we doing with it?
Exactly.
Taxes? I mean,
Yeah.
this guide really does a good job.
it's very comprehensive.
Yeah.
It's like a roadmap.
And I like how it,
Yeah.
emphasizes that it's not just about, okay, you've done this, now you're done. It's like,
journey.
it's a journey.
Yeah.
And this idea of continuous learning
Yes. That's so crucial
really stood out to me.
because the landscape is constantly changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What works today
Right.
might be obsolete tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you got to be willing to adapt.
So it's not about just mastering the skills you have now.
No,
It's about staying curious.
it's about staying curious
Yeah.
and learning new things.
Which kind of leads into this idea of
Networking.
networking, which I know a lot of people
Yeah.
don't like doing.
I know it can feel icky,
It can feel icky.
but it's so important.
A guide talks about this too.
It does, yeah.
Why?
Because, they say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right, right.
But it's also about, building genuine relationships.
Yeah.
It's not just about,
Collecting business cards.
it's not about collecting business cards.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about,
Building a community.
building a community.
So we've talked about the what, the how, potential pitfalls.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
But at the end of the day,
It comes down to action,
it comes down to action.
taking action.
And the guide, I love how it ends with this question.
Oh, it's a good one.
It's a really powerful question.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
So it asks,
Okay, here it is.
what one small step
Yeah.
will you take
Today,
today
right now.
to start building towards your financial goals?
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so actionable.
It's not about making some massive,
Yeah. Overnight change.
life-altering change.
Yeah, just one small thing
Ajay.
you can do today.
So for you listening, what is that one small thing?
Yeah, what's that one step?
Is it updating your LinkedIn profile?
Could be.
Is it brainstorming a few freelance
Maybe.
service ideas?
Yeah.
Is it researching some dropshipping suppliers?
Possibly.
Is it just taking 30 minutes to read an article
Could be.
about a new money-making strategy?
Yeah.
What is that one small thing
One small step
that you can do today?
today.
Because what we've seen from this guide is
You could do it.
it's possible to make money.
It's possible.
It takes
It takes work.
work.
It takes planning.
Ambition.
It takes determination.
Right.
You got to be willing to adapt.
But it's possible.
Absolutely.
So if you're feeling inspired,
If you're feeling that spark,
yeah,
take that step
take that step.
today and see where it leads you.
All right, that's it for part 1 of our deep dive.
Can't wait for part 2.
I know, it's going to be good.
It's going to be great.
We'll be right back after a quick break. Okay, so we're back, and we're talking about making money.
Still diving deep?
We're diving deep. And in part 1, we talked about all these different ways, all these ideas.
Yeah, we threw out a lot.
But now we need to figure out how to actually,
Make them happen.
make them happen. What's the plan?
Yeah.
Luckily, this guide
Oh, yeah, this guy's got you covered.
it actually lays out,
A whole plan.
yeah, and it starts with this idea of continuous learning.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I love this.
This is so important.
Because I think a lot of people, they think, okay, I've mastered the skill.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
saying
good to go.
I'm done.
But it's not that simple, is it?
It's not. The world's changing so fast.
It's constantly changing.
What works today might not work tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to stay adaptable.
I gotta stay curious.
You got to stay curious.
You gotta keep learning.
Okay, so it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing.
No. It's ongoing.
Yeah. And that kind of leads
I give you
into
credit.
this idea of networking, which I know
Ooh, I know.
a lot of people, they cringe when they hear that word.
Networking. Yeah, it can feel icky.
Yeah. Why is it so important, though?
Well, because, like we said before, sometimes it's not just what you know,
Right.
it's who you know. But it's more than that. It's about building those genuine relationships.
So it's not just about,
Yeah, not just collecting business
and
cards,
some doing an event,
shaking hands, handing out cards.
doing the whole, here's my card,
Let's connect. No, it's about actually getting to know people,
building a community.
building a community, yeah.
So we've talked about the what, the how,
Uh-huh.
the potential pitfalls. We've really gone deep.
We have. We've been in the trenches.
But now it's time to bring it back to you, the listener.
Yeah, this is about you.
What can you do?
Today, to start making money.
And the guide ends with this
Ooh, it's such a good ending.
powerful question.
I love it.
What one small step will you take today to start building towards your financial goals?
So good.
It's not about quit your job and start a business tomorrow.
No. Baby steps.
It's one small thing.
Just one thing.
So what is it for you listening?
Yeah, what's your one thing?
Is it updating your LinkedIn?
Maybe thinking of a few freelance.
Brainstorming some freelance ideas,
Uh-huh.
researching dropshipping suppliers.
Could be that.
Is it just taking 30 minutes to read an article about a new money-making strategy?
Could be, yeah.
What is that one small thing
Take that step
that you can do today?
today.
Don't wait.
Because what we've learned from this guide
Yeah.
is that it's possible.
It's possible to make money.
It's possible.
It's not a pipe dream.
It takes work.
Yeah, it takes work.
It's planning.
Determination.
It's dedication.
You got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to adapt.
But it's possible.
But it is absolutely possible.
And this guide gives you the tools to do it.
It does. It's like a roadmap.
So if you're feeling that spark,
If you're feeling that inspiration,
take action.
yeah, take that step.
Take that step today
So-
where it leads.
You never know what could happen.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
At the breath.
Part 3.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be the best one yet.
We're back. Final part
Yeah, the grand finale.
of our deep dive into making money.
We've come a long way.
We have, and we've covered a lot of ground.
Lots of nuggets of wisdom.
So many nuggets.
Yeah.
From self-assessment
Yeah.
to building a business
To avoiding those pitfalls.
and everything in between.
But, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it really comes down to this, taking
right.
action.
Taking action.
You can have all the knowledge in the world,
Right.
but if you don't do anything with it,
It's useless.
it's meaningless.
And that's why I love how this guide ends
Oh, yeah.
with this question.
Such a good question.
It asks, what one small step will you take today to start building towards your financial goals?
I love that. Today,
Today,
not tomorrow, not next week.
right now,
Right.
right now. So for you listening right now, what is that one small step?
Yeah, what's that one tiny thing you can do
to get started?
to get the ball rolling?
Maybe it's updating that LinkedIn profile.
Could be.
Maybe it's finally sitting down and brainstorming.
Just for 30 minutes.
A few ideas.
Get those creative juices flowing.
Maybe it's researching dropshipping suppliers.
Could be.
Maybe it's finally hitting publish on that blog post.
The one you've been working on.
You've been putting off
for weeks.
Whatever it is, no matter how small.
Take that step.
Take that step.
A day. Because even a tiny step can lead to big things.
Or creates momentum.
Exactly.
It gets the ball rolling.
It's all about momentum.
And you know, what we've learned from this guide, and what I hope you've learned from this deep dive, is that it's possible.
It's possible.
To gain money.
You can do this.
You can do this.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It takes work. It takes dedication.
But it's possible.
But it's so rewarding.
It's so rewarding. And, you know, I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not just about the money.
No, it's about the journey.
It's about building something.
Creating something you're proud of.
Yeah.
Something that brings you joy.
So, with that said, we've reached the end.
The end of our deep dives.
Of our deep dive into the world of making money.
Sad to see it go.
I know, me too. But I hope you've learned some valuable insights.
Some actionable tips.
And most importantly, that you are capable.
You have the power.
Of creating.
The financial future you desire.
The financial future you desire.
So go out there and make it happen.
Make it happen. And that's it for this deep dive.
Until next time.
Until next time, keep diving.